All right, guys, the dinner party. Now, there's a lot to discuss with this episode, so make sure you get something to eat. Sit down because I'm pissed off. I don't like hypocritical behavior, so I have a lot to say. So bear with me and let's discuss this.
You'll have nothing in life.
Timothy!
So the whole thing starts when Timothy overhears Jaden talking to Lucinda, saying how he believes that Lucinda deserves better than what Timothy's been giving her. And obviously, this makes Timothy see red. So he then decides to confront Jaden at the dinner party. This then gets everyone talking again about Timothy and Lucinda's relationship and what's Lucinda's expectations and how Timothy treated her on the couch, and Jaden keeps questioning him over and over again. So then Timothy, he's feeling backed in the corner and he doesn't like being questioned by someone younger than him. So he sees red and he blows up. And then boom!
You've always been a grandstander.
So Timothy says, "You'll have nothing in life," and he bangs the table. Now, obviously, I don't condone this behavior with Timothy. Naughty Timothy. You know, it was out of turn, okay? It was a bit too much. He didn't have to make it that big of an explosion, all right? So I don't condone his behavior at all, but I do understand the whole pressure of the experiment, everybody coming at him, that would build up. I would feel back in a corner too, and I do get it. He lashed out, you know. He shouldn't have done it. I do understand to some point, but I don't condone it, okay?
What the is wrong with you?
You have nothing. Like, that me off.
Now, Timothy saying to Jaden, "You'll have nothing in life," this comment has really gotten under Tori's skin. I feel like she's taken it more personal than what everyone else has. And I don't know if this has something to do with her background. I don't know if something happened in her life and this has triggered her for some reason. I don't know. But you can see she's really been affected by this. Now, Tori, she hasn't liked Timothy since basically the beginning. Like, she's really had a sore spot with him ever since he confronted her about her and Jack's relationship. She didn't like him stepping forward about that. So she's really had it out for him ever since. So for some reason, tonight, this has really affected her. His comments have really gotten under her skin.
You don't speak to anyone like that. I don't care who you are.
But I did find it hypocritical when she's like, "Oh, you don't speak to people like that." And I'm thinking, but your own husband was speaking to people rudely last time. So what, you know, why are you commenting on this? You know, you really don't have a leg to stand on here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've heard it.
1 minute, I haven't finished.
So at this point, everyone's revved up and Lucinda decides to interject and de-escalate the situation and say her piece. And I was really happy with how Lucinda handled herself here, because everyone, Tori, basically tried to shut her down and say, "Oh yeah, we've heard that before. And she's like, "No, let me speak." You know, she wanted to say her piece and she did. And she was able to explain her and Tim's relationship because no one else understands them better than what she does. You know, so she's like, "You know what? This is our relationship. If I was having an issue, I wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be here. So, you know, you got to listen to us when we say we're good at the moment, you know?" And so I was really, really happy with Lucinda at this point.
Shut up.
Now, while Lucinda is explaining herself, her side of the story, Tori decides to talk under her breath and say, "Shut the up," to Lucinda. I thought that was really rude, right? And then Tori goes on and says, "Oh, don't you think what your husband says is disgusting?"
That's disgusting.
It's so disgusting what he said. I'm just like, are you serious? Can we rewind at this point? I want to go back a couple of episodes. Because whose husband said something disgusting a few episodes back?
Shut your mouth. Can you muzzle your woman?
So, wasn't that also a disgusting comment? I mean, guys, let me know. Whose comment do you think is more disgusting? Now, I'm not condoning Tim's actions, but I think to tell someone to go muzzle it is disgusting as well, don't you? So once again, I found this to be quite hypocritical, especially when your own husband told someone to muzzle it and you said nothing. At least Lucinda takes Timothy aside and tells him what for. She says, "Your behavior was unacceptable. Don't do it. You're better than that. That wasn't cool." She actually told him off right then and there.
Don't think that's necessary. It's below the belt. You're better than
She
that.
didn't mess around. She just got with it. You know what I mean? And, like, that's what I love about Lucinda. You know, she doesn't muck around. She doesn't play these games. She just says it. She says what's on her mind and just does it. Unlike someone else who didn't even reprimand her own husband. I mean, Lucinda had to actually go and talk to Jack. Did everyone notice that? At the beginning of the dinner party, Lucinda goes up to Jack and says, "You know, what you did wasn't cool." You know, she said it in a nice way. But she said, you know, it wasn't cool what you did. Now, we still haven't seen Tori say that. We haven't seen it. If anything, we've actually seen Tori defend Jack. Interesting. Now, later on in the episode, you see Tori trying to defend herself as to why she didn't stand up and call Jack out on his behaviour at the dinner party. She's like, oh, you didn't see what happened behind closed doors. You don't know what I said behind closed doors. If that was the case, then you wouldn't have been defending him at the commitment ceremony the next day. You know? And why didn't you call him out straight away? I mean, you're calling Timothy out straight away. Why wouldn't you call Jack out straight away if what he said was so disgusting? You know what I mean? Now, you are way more fired up over Timothy doing his comment to Jaden, who, by the way, Jaden is a professional kickboxer. He's a big boy, you know, he's a grown-ass man. If he was so offended by that comment, I'm pretty sure he's, you know, got a big boy voice and he could talk for himself. I don't think he needed you to, you know, help him, you know, defend his honor or whatever it was you're trying to do. I don't know. You know, I'm pretty sure Jaden could have spoke for himself in that scenario, really. You were more fired up in defending Jaden than you were in defending Lauren, who was a woman who had a man tell her to go and muzzle her. And I find that interesting that you have that perspective, especially in this day and age where, you know, usually people don't stand for women being treated like that. You know, it's funny that you want to defend Jaden, who, I mean, let's face it, he can look after himself, Jaden. He's a big boy. He can take care of himself. But you didn't feel the need to do the same to Lauren. I found that interesting too.
How dare you say to someone, you have nothing? Like, that me off.
Shut your mouth. Can you muzzle your woman?
So can someone tell me what the difference here is? Because maybe I'm stupid. Maybe Jack was fine. Maybe what he said to Lauren was okay. And Jaden was just a poor, weak little boy who needed someone to defend him. Is that what happened here? Because I'm confused. Let me know. Let me know. Have I got this all wrong?
Timothy was acting like he didn't just blow up the table. Spare me.
Okay, so after all this drama, you know, everyone said their piece. Lucinda, she's taken Timothy aside. She's told him his behaviour wasn't cool. You know, he's acknowledged it, that, you know, he was a bit hot-headed. Yeah? And then everyone decides to, you know, move on. Let's enjoy the rest of the dinner party, yeah? No. No, we can't. We can't. You know why? Because Tim looks smug.
I could not stand by a man that displayed himself the way Timothy did today. Lucinda, the way she backed him. It's just Timothy. It's just Timothy. No, it's not just Timothy.
So everyone's trying to have a good time at the party, but not Tori. No. No, she's not happy that Tim's basically gotten away. Well, she feels like Tim's gotten away with it, even though Lucinda's already called him out on his behaviour. You know, people have already had a go at him about it. But apparently, the fact that everyone's trying to move on and have a good time at the party, that's Tim getting away with it. And apparently, Lucinda, being his partner, shouldn't be sticking by his side. How dare Lucinda stay by her husband's side? I'm sorry. Once again, I want to remind everybody, whose wife stood by her husband's side? Let's, refresh that again.
When you're at a heightened state of anger or emotion, you say whatever is at the top of your head. It doesn't come natural for Jack to talk like that.
Oh, Tori, did you not back your husband up there? Jack was just a little worked up and said the wrong thing? Do you think maybe Timothy was a little worked up and said the wrong thing? Can you see the similarities? They're a bit similar. I see parallels. You know, maybe I'm wrong, but interesting. You know, think about it.
Shut your mouth. Can you muzzle your woman? You'll have nothing in life.
I don't know, two men, both getting worked up, both saying the wrong thing. I don't know, maybe I'm stupid. Maybe, to me, they look the same, but maybe they're completely different situations. Can someone educate me? Because I'm not very learned, you know. And I'm happy to be learned. Tell me, what am I missing here? What's the difference between these two scenarios? Please educate me. Please.
You just look a bit smug.
Now, here comes the next big quote of the episode. Now, I don't want to misquote Tori here because we know she's very sensitive if people don't quote her exactly. Now, Tori says, let me double check, "You just look a bit smug." Is that right? I wrote that down because I didn't want to get it wrong. "You just look a bit smug." Now, look, you can clearly see she's trying to rev Tim up. You know, she wants to get a reaction out of him. You know, she wasn't happy that people moved on from before. She wants him to explode again and have the room come at him. You know, she wants everyone to just keep going at him. That's what she wants. She probably wants everyone to run him out of the studio or whatever. I don't know what her goal was, but she was clearly trying to provoke Tim. And she keeps bringing up Tim's mistakes. Now, yes, we know Tim said some horrible things. I don't like what he said to Lucinda on the couch either. You know, it wasn't cool. It wasn't nice, right? But to keep rehashing things over and over again, all that's going to do is it's going to keep making arguments, which clearly that's what you want. You know, I mean, you're not liking when people keep rehashing that Jack said to Lauren, "Go muzzle it." You know, you're not liking that, obviously. But you're doing the same thing to Timothy here. You know, you keep going over and over and over again, trying to get a reaction. But, you know, Timothy, he's not actually biting now. You know, instead of giving the reaction you want, he's throwing it back at you.
Jack sat down on the couch and said, "Don't speak to me." My foot would go down his throat.
But you have no problem with Jack saying muzzle you lady.
As she tries to, you know, say how bad Timothy was, and she says, "Oh, if Jack ever said to me what you said to Lucinda, I would have put my foot down his throat." I don't believe you would, to be perfectly honest. I'd like to see you do it. But Timothy, instead of, you know, blowing up, he's like, "Oh, okay, but you're cool with Jack telling Lauren to go muzzle it." Now, obviously, this has struck a nerve with Tori. You know, this has made her, she doesn't have a defense here. She doesn't have a defense. She knows Jack f***ed up. She knows that. So she has no leg to stand on at this point.
Don't tell me I didn't have a problem with it because I didn't address it here.
So this is where she's trying to get defensive and she's saying, "Oh, but I did have a problem. You just didn't see it. It was off camera." Yeah, but why wouldn't you you're getting revved up so much at the dinner table now, but you were so quiet when Jack was talking. It's interesting. Lucinda actually took the time. She took Timothy aside. She didn't make a spectacle of it, but she took Timothy aside right then and there and said, "Your behaviour was unacceptable." She did it straight away. She didn't play games. She just did it. You didn't do that. You let Jack say whatever he wanted to say at the dinner party. You had no issue with his comment. Let's be real. You didn't care. You had no issue with it.
And Jack didn't tell Lauren when to speak. Jack said, "Stop speaking."
Now, Tori, she's trying to defend herself as to why she didn't hold Jack accountable that time. And she's like, "Oh, I know when I should and shouldn't speak in these sorts of situations." And Timothy, he's doing a little dig here and he's like, "Oh, is that because Jack tells you when you can and can't talk like he did with Lauren?" And I found it funny that Tori, she's trying to defend Jack and she's like, "Oh, Jack never told Lauren when she can and can't speak. He just told her to shut up." Like that's any better. I mean, she's grasping at straws. You know, she has no leg to stand on. Now, I don't know where Tori is going with all this, but you can clearly see she's trying to rev Timothy up. She's trying to push him. She keeps pushing and pushing. And then eventually she does get a reaction out of him because she keeps pressing the whole, you know, what Timothy said to Lucinda on the couch and, you know, where he wants to go with that. And then Timothy, he does snap and he's like, "I said Lucinda's a 10 out of 10. What are you f***ing deaf?"
I said she's a 10 out of 10. What are you, deaf?
Now, do I like how Timothy reacted in this moment? No, I don't. But I do see that he was being pushed. Like, she did keep pushing and pushing the matter, you know? So, yeah, I don't condone what he said. Again, I don't. He shouldn't have said that. But I do see that he was being pushed in that moment. And it's funny that her reaction to me didn't seem as, you know, fired up as when Timothy said the comment to Jaden about, you know, "You have nothing in life." I find she got more fired up over that comment than when Timothy said, "Are you f***ing deaf?" Which I think, to me personally, I think that's a worse comment. So I'm surprised I didn't see her react more than what she did. I mean, she does some snide remarks, but I feel like she didn't seem as fired up by that. That's just my impression of the scene anyway. Now, at this point, Jack actually speaks up for the first time in the evening and he's defending Tori, which I don't actually have an issue with. You know, he's defending his wife. That's fine. I do think it's a little rich considering that he himself degraded someone the week before. But, you know, him standing up for his wife, that's fine. I just find it a bit hypocritical, that's all.
You're slimy as all
Now, at this point, Tori decides to say to Timothy, you're slimy as fuck. Now, I find this to be a very rude comment, and it's making Jack look hypocritical as well, because he's defending his wife, telling Timothy that what he said was rude, when his own wife is saying rude and nasty comments. You know, so it's really hard for me to see. You know, you want to take the high ground and say that someone's being rude when your own wife is doing the exact same thing, if not worse, you know? And she's already said, you know, to Lucinda, you know, shut the f*** up. She should shut the f*** up. Like, that's rude as well. So she's done a few comments tonight that's already being rude. So, you know, you really don't have a leg to stand on to call Timothy out when your own wife is doing it. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'm so.
You are so smug.
Now, once again, Tori has decided to say to Timothy, oh, you're so smug. And the reason you're so smug is because you're looking at everyone with your raised eyebrow. Can I raise my eyebrow? You're looking at them all. You're looking at everyone raising your eyebrow. So you're smug.
sitting there with one eyebrow raised like, oh yeah, I did that.
So that to me kind of sounds like you're not a fan of the way his face looks. Is that correct, Tori? You don't like the look of his face, I feel.
It's just his face.
Okay, guys, I'm going to leave the video here, but obviously I haven't finished my rant yet. There's going to be a part 2 where I'm going to cover Tori and Cassandra. So make sure you come back and check that out because I'm going to try and get that up as soon as possible. So let me know your thoughts, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.